I think that there are some titles that lend themselves more naturally to downloading than others. For example, there are some games, as you probably know, on PlayStation 3, from a capacity standpoint, that is pushing 30, 40s, upwards of 50 gigabytes. And for those titles, to offer that as a download is going to be a bit of a challenge from a consumer experience standpoint, whereas other smaller games that we have, even for PS3, lend themselves more to a download environment. So, our strategy is to make sure that we cover both ends of the spectrum, and there are some games that are in the middle that you can offer both as downloads as well as in retail as well. It's a combination, I think, that we have as a strategy. The one thing I can say, however, is that a lot of people think that maybe next year or in 3 years' time, everything is going to be digitally downloaded, and I think that's taking it to the extreme because of the data capacity that I talked about, as well as the fact that we have businesses in so many different territories and countries where broadband access is not as affordable or as accessible as it is in the places where you and I perhaps experience this. So we need to make sure that we have a physical medium to cover those territories and consumers as well. And the other thing is, I come from the software business all my life, and digital downloading of certain content is very convenient. But at the same time, I like to keep a library of my CDs or my movies or my games. And I think there's going to be a lot of consumers that still, even if they can download 50 gigabytes very quickly, they still want to go to retailers and pick up that disc as part of their library, and that's something that's not going to go away anytime soon. Obviously, the percentages, the ratio is going to be different. But for example, even in this day and age, you look at music consumption. There are still a lot of consumers that still like to go out and buy CDs. Mainly because, again, they want to have something tangible in their hands and they want it to be a part of their physical library as opposed to a library that you have on your hard drive or, some other device. And I think that consumer sentiment is not going to go away anytime soon, because if it did, then, the CD business would have been gone. But it's still a very, obviously ratios change, but it's still a business that is, is a big part of, any record company's business. Sure. I think that the PSP Go, we decided to have a network-only device, mainly because we had the PSP 3000, the traditional PSP. So we gave the consumers a choice of using a completely downloadable networked environment or going out to retail and purchasing a disc. So it wasn't, we have the PSP Go now, so we're not, we discontinued the PSP 3000. We didn't do that. It's all about choice. We had a lot of consumers that came to us to say, can you make it smaller and just make it downloadable so that it's easier to carry and it's more of a true portable device, perhaps in comparison to the PSP 3000, which is something that we wanted to address in the marketplace. We also got a lot of good feedback from the consumers as to what they liked, what they didn't like with the PSP Go. As we plot future strategies for different products, that's going to be an invaluable, knowledge base that we've established, while working with PSP Go. Because as you probably know, it's the first time we've done a platform device that's completely dependent on a network environment. There's always a part for the retailers to play within the PlayStation ecosystem. Mainly because you cannot download a piece of hardware. And therefore, it's in our best interest to have the best relationships with the retail partners in all the territories that we do business with. Obviously, with a download model, they are perhaps not getting the sale that they would have gotten at retail. So there are various things that we are doing in various territories to make sure that that we make up for that, including, for example, the sale of the PlayStation Network cards that we sell at retail and other initiatives that we have in place. And so I think there are various ways of coming up with different business models that really help to maintain or even improve the business relationship that we have with the retailers, even though the percentage of downloading of content in some territories, not all, perhaps may increase in the future. But as I said before as well, Even if you look at the PlayStation portable business, the vast majority of the software is done at retail through UMD discs, and I don't think that's going to change anytime in the future for all the reasons that I just stated before. Sure, I think that as far as the state of the art is concerned today, the best experience for 3D, especially in a gaming environment, is in a home-based console with a large screen where you can enjoy 3D to its fullest, especially for PlayStation 3 because of the combination of 3D with the PlayStation Move, where you also have depth control as well. And so, that's the strategy that we've taken to say, let's concentrate on the 3D effort on PS3 within the home environment first and foremost, and take it from there. We are in, what is it, the 5th year, 6th year of PSP now? Yeah. So it's been a while on the market, but we still have 60. Well, now we have 60 million units in the market, and we still have very robust market for the PSP on a worldwide basis, and we want to continue with that business. Obviously, people ask me about future devices every day. And we do think about devices every day, but there's nothing that we can talk about today with future consoles, whether it's PSP or a continuation of or a successor to PS3. And people ask me about that all the time, but it's all up here, not in the market. As soon as we launch the PS3, yeah, you want to think about next generation things, absolutely. Does that actually mean that we have something going on in terms of internal development? That's a different story. Obviously, vision is different from implementation.